on this question, it's a great example of how we discuss in our Triple T document that we don't want to look at the answer options right away. They'll only confuse you. However, it can be useful to look at the answer format. And by doing so, we could notice pretty quickly that these are all linear equations. More specifically, they're in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Now, keep in mind the slope always goes with the independent variable, which they're calling t, and notice the order is kind of backwards for them. They're doing, instead of y equals, but they're doing v equals the y-intercept, and then the slope, and then the variable, which they're calling t. So let's look at some key values here. They talk about the fact that they purchased a combine harvester that's valued at $330,000. So that's the initial value that eventually depreciates, meaning it decreases in value as time goes on. So we know for sure that it starts at a value of $330,000. And that means right away we could eliminate anything that doesn't have that y-intercept. Well, that's really only option A. All the other ones do have that y-intercept. And then the fact that it's saying depreciates means it should be a negative slope. So we could eliminate option C because it has a positive slope. So now we give ourselves a 50-50 shot at it pretty quickly. And they say after 10 years, the value is going to be 80,000. So to me, the easiest thing at this point is just plug in 10 for each of these t's and see which one results in the output, the v equals, being 80,000. So let's say I start with option B, 330,000 minus 25,000, and then we're multiplying by 10. And that one gave it to me. So we know that the answer is B. Obviously, if that wasn't the right one, we would have been able to do process of elimination and gotten D. However, if you're curious how you would have done this by hand, if you were given a scenario like this, and I think it's good to know if it weren't a multiple choice question and you're in your math class, look at these as ordered pairs. And let's talk about the difference between independent and dependent. So time is always independent. So it's that horizontal axis, because think about it, no matter how fast you run or how much it rains or how much you study, it doesn't change time. Time is independent of everything. And then the other variable is always going to be the dependent one. In this case, V, so the value of that combine harvester, whatever that is. Now, when we're talking about ordered pairs, the initial value of something means, okay, at time 0, in other words, this value here, the value of that combine harvester was 330,000. I think I might have forgotten a 0 there. And then it's saying after 10 years, which ends up being this value, the value of that combine harvester will be 80,000. So now we have two ordered pairs. So keep those ordered pairs in mind. Let's say we would have written them somewhere. Then let's actually go into Desmos. We're going to clear anything that was from a previous question. And then we're going to go to table, and we're going to input those two ordered pairs. So notice 0, 330,000, and then 10, 80,000. And then we're going to go to regression. And by default, it does linear regression, which is what we want. If it was something else, we would go to linear regression. And notice this equation. You have the y-intercept as 330,000 and the slope as negative 25,000, which again matches with option D.